Turn to ban.
Para po ma-assist ka.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back, everyone. OG versus Gambit. OG setting the pace that we know and love them for. Game number 1, and doing it with heroes that we're all familiar with, not necessarily from the major, but from their pool for sure. Pool. I can go for some water. Or we have this little inflatable tub, but actually does have water in it.
But why does it have water in it?
I don't know.
Like,
wait. You heard the word pool.
Yeah.
Thought of drinking water.
No. I thought of
he means the tub.
Yeah,
There's a little tub down there.
Thing that
That
we
would
have.
be extremely strange.
No. That chlorine is not for me, unfortunately. I'm not really a big fan of that, but I'm a fan of OG's gameplay. In that game number 1, it was
impressive.
It was impressive, and I'm wondering if was the Gambit lineup too animajory?
It did have a lot of beats from the animator. Of course, you think of the DK, the Lion, the Puck to that instance as well, and of course the Terrorblade. So I would argue yes. I just think it's one of those things where it's a game where Gambit never really were able to be proactive because they're always reacting to OG's aggression. So I think maybe we could praise OG a little bit, but I think also Gambit, they delayed the game well enough with the TB and the Puck at some point. The net worth difference was only like 4K throughout the game because of how they were playing around these areas. They just never really mustered that single team fight to get them into like a forward-thinking position.
I feel a bit like they thought about their lanes wrong though, right? Like if you're thinking about ET Leshak, we saw in the recap with Purge that OG were pretty much able to completely zone them. If you're in that lane, you know your DK doesn't do anything at level 1 because he's a Dragonite. You should just bring your 3rd hero there and TP him down to the safe lane after. I feel like that really set the pace for the match, and OG just alt-tempoed them. They built items to all go on the same line, and now they pick an AA.
Yeah, so in the first game, OG was first pick as well. They banned out Brood, they banned out AA, and this time they ban out the TA instead, then going for the Ancient Apparitions themselves because they haven't banned it. In regards to Gambit's bans, they still keep the same and Hoodwink, and also the DK. Will they go for Lion as well? Potentially not. This is where they could go for oh wow, let's go straight for the Puck. All right.
I guess now that they have the AA, that means the Nyx Assassin's not as big of a deal. Might feel a little bit safer picking the Puck. And it might get banned out second phase.
Yeah, I still think you can pick the Nyx if you want on OG. I think the main thing is because they're first pick, you normally end this phase with an instant response to what you see already. And when you see DK Puck, you're seeing your mid lane Puck, your off lane DK most likely. And that's why OG instantly snap up this Void Spirit, because they're aware if it is a DK flex mid, if it is a Puck flex mid, Void Spirit should be fine in both of those matchups.
It was a bit weird to pick 2 cores from second pick on your 2-3 here.
No, yeah, exactly,
you're showing what lanes these heroes are going to go. I mean, Puck, you can technically play him on off lane, but you'll get pretty much any carry free from right now. So OG, they just, from first pick, they already have a free counter matchup. They're going to have another counter matchup on OG's own 4th pick. And I think the lanes will look really good for them this game.
Just checking now through the pubs of OG, there actually hasn't been anyone else playing Void Spirit across all the players. It is only Topson who has kind of at least been practicing it in pubs. That doesn't really mean much because, of course, most pro players, if in the right circumstances, can whip out a unconventional hero. But yeah, most likely, as we mentioned, this is just kind of 3 cores presented so far in the first 4 hero picks.
Traditionally, Void Spirit has been a very good answer to Puck. It was a good matchup in Dota because they both sort of caught each other and could kill each other. Void Spirit would get the Eos or even just hit the Remnant. You couldn't phase shift it.
Yep.
And Puck, of course, has called to lock down Void Spirit. I feel like with the burst from AA, I would be more comfortable playing Void Spirit, but maybe we can see Gambit sort of make up for that on the next 3 picks.
10 seconds remaining.
They're going to ban out the Timber Saw, and that's a little bit surprising to me. I thought that Puck would be okay with it, but we've seen that be probably the best answer to DK throughout the course of the animator, and seeing as how Gambit are reliably staying with this first phase DK, Gonna ban that out. I would not be surprised to see Undying in the hands of OG. I feel like that was another answer that we saw in the Animajor.
I don't think they'll pick it with
No,
A.
the main thing right now is OG, they need to go for some serious lockdown. You know, when the confidence of Gambit picking this puck is because they see the AA. AA as a hero is great executing heroes, but is atrocious at actually locking anyone down, right? You're playing off of cold feet. That isn't reliable anyway. So for OG, I'd love to see them go for some bigger 4 and 3 combos that just can bring all the team fight.
Yeah, they definitely need some damage. If you pick Puck DK, like, Timbersaw Puck is decent versus him, but if there was a Timbersaw with free farm, he already has a good match for DK, and Puck will completely run out of damage against him, so that's why they banned it. Normally against Timbersaw, you want a mid hero that when he rotates, you will just kill that Timbersaw. Traditionally, it used to be like Silence or OD. Now it's a little bit more. We saw the major, we saw some Bat Riders, some Lush tracks. These heroes actually have the sustained magical burst to kill Timbersaw.
Lion's still in the pool also if you're looking for an instant hex versus the Puck.
Gambit wants to play with a bit of pace. When you see these heroes like Timbersaw and Mars, these are heroes that absorb so much time in the early game. It's hard to really kind of get this kind of death ball style going. I think that's kind of the indicator when they're picking this DK, they want to emulate what's happened at the major. And like Timbersaw happily sits in front of a tower, Mars happily rotates in for these kind of counter aggression, these kind of big team fights. So I'm looking to see Gambit kind of maybe tailor their draft for a bit more early skirmishing like we saw OG. You know, you lose to game 1 against OG due to this early 5-man. Gambit game 2, their development, potentially they could be subscribing to that same idea.
I guess banning out the Willow and the Phoenix kind of goes in that vein. And other signatures for Gambit, I don't know. How about for, you think it's going to be DK in the same role as before, or they...
10 seconds.
Yeah,
once you have the
offlane.
pick, you don't really have much of a choice other than sending. Once you have the puck, you don't have much of a chance other than to send it in the offlane.
Yeah, I've not seen Afterlife play puck recently, so I don't really see the flex occurring. It is just going to be like DK offlane puck mid, and that's why this kind of style of drafting is a little bit unconventional, because most teams on second pick do go for the like a flex core plus support style of opening.
So they pick up the Lion again. I don't think Lion's enough damage. I think he's too long cooldown. I think they should have picked something like a Scarth Mage, but I'm interested to see how they'll make it work. Lion is a lot better at locking down Void Spirit, since after he has that Eos or BKB, like Scarth sort of might become food for him. I can see that line of thought. It's just, I'm worried for them. Like how OG played, how they itemized, they had the Echo Saber on Pangolier, that's 300 HP from 15 strength. They had the Eternal Shot on Leshrac, so the 1 and 2 get really tanky, and all of a sudden it felt like Gambit, they lacked damage. They got that one fight where Lordoff got the Ultra Kill, but after that, they couldn't take down the heroes.
And there's the Marana. Let's Satsuka. Okay.
He has been playing that a bit in pubs.
Yeah.
It's a very, what to say, like free hero. You can arrow some range creeps. You can sort of, if you can leave your offlane alone, you can scale really hard by jungling.
Like some Tidehunter for OG, for example. Like some.
I can see some Tidehunter.
Because especially when you see these type of bans, the Timber, Mars, and Axe banned from a Gambit, it's like what's left really.
I was thinking they might pick like some sort of Monkey King hero, because I saw Seb play that a lot.
He's
the
been
two
fiending
heroes,
it, yeah.
He played a lot of Bat Rider and Monkey King, I think, the most. He's like 5-0 on Bat Rider in pubs. I don't think it's that good a Bat Rider game. But Monkey King seems interesting. You have the setup stun for both A and Marana. And I could see them sort of setting up where you go like a dual offlane and you let the Marana roam with a Monkey King versus DK matchup.
Their ability, if they did go this route, the ability to kill a hero, you're now going to have 3 heroes that jump the backline. And okay, Gambit pick up the Bane. Whew. We've not seen this in some time, but
I don't think that hero got picked at the major, right?
there's the Tidehunter.
There's a Tidehunter, as you said. It's a
Poppy
good
picked
pick.
it up,
yeah.
but not to much success, I think. And Secret got knocked out pretty easy.
Because what I think of this Bane hero is, if you're picking this hero, you're picking him for Enfeeble. But I don't see much heal on the OG side. Like I saw Bane, he got picked against Necro a lot in pubs.
He
That was
can
very strong.
technically nightmare dodge these arrows. You know, he could make the plays.
Yeah, but if you want to save, you can just pick a save.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hero's not been picked for a reason. I think in regards to the game, you can apply some type of laning pressure if you have the correct carry. And in the game, you don't really push out waves. You can go for the shard to help you, but the hero does feel a little bit lost in that kind of idea.
Actually, what I thought was maybe how Thompson plays, he dives really deep.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
he creates a lot of space that way. Maybe they're just thinking like this Pangolier on Thompson, he'll do similar things as Voice Spirit this game. If he goes deep, we want to just lock down the person that overcommits and kill them. I mean, their lineup is very single target right now.
There's a lot of disconnect in regards to OG's kind of fight, because AA plays from behind, Marana kind of does that as well, Tide is your team fight. Void Spirit's the only hero right now that will be going into the middle of the fight, like you said. And that's why kind of Lion Bane, of course, their strengths are, like you mentioned, killing the hero. Yeah, it has some substance.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it works. I mean, it's a bit hard to play Bane versus Tide, The lane is quite good though. I think how Tide wants to play, Bane has like pretty good animation and damage.
Is it like Juggernaut then to round out Gambit's draft to give them some skill potential?
I don't like Juggernaut. If they do Juggernaut, they have to put Lion Juggernaut into safe lane versus Tide, which is a very good lane in that. Not so good versus Potom, but I think if you pick Juggernaut Bane, you're looking to lose that lane.
Okay.
Right now, Gambit, they should think last game I think they lost that game because of lanes. Like in the end, that's what they should think, because it's the only thing you can really adjust to and fix during your draft. Like they last picked this puck against the Penguin, he got solo killed. They picked this DK early and they went offlane. They got zoned out of the wave. They got the first CS at 2:45, as Spurd mentioned.
It could also just be like you mentioned laning phase. Like Gambit could also just go for like a Luna or something. Just go full out, just double ranged, like Bane Luna, play the lane, and then play with the DK.
I could see Luna working. If you pick Luna, you have to snowball though.
No, yeah, exactly.
Because you are against A. The nice thing for Gambit though is that they do have the last overall pick as their second pick. So I think they should probably see what OG pick. And Luna can be an option if you still outscale them. But I think it's hard to go into a game against a team like OG, trying to beat them in the early game, out-tempo them, and play if you're outscaled. Like you want to be more comfortable going into a game than that.
Looking at Sumel's pubs right now, because of course we don't have any kind of pro history on him playing carry recently. He's played pretty much all the carries. Like he's attempted to. We're very
a lot of PL.
He lost. He's played 4 games of PL. How many games do you think he won on PL?
0.
Correct. Yep. Someone did their homework. He also tried playing a carry IO game because of course joining OG that needs to be in your playbook. He lost that game as well.
Dream also is a carry IO player. He was spamming that during season 2 DPC.
I think he wants a stun on Sumel. He has Potom A supports. He should pick. Okay, this is another hero he was playing. It doesn't have a stun, but it is extremely high time. I like this pick a lot. I'm a bit curious how to do against Dragonite and lane. Like these Neo Dragonite offlanes and Furon carries. I haven't played versus them that much.
The important thing is they can, like, the support, no matter what hero goes into the offlane, they won't have a good time playing into Furon. And I think Puck in mid lane will not be able to deal with the overwhelming amount of pressure that Furon +1 will bring to that mid lane. Like Void Spirit, Furon TPing in, taking your mid tower. Yeah, Gambit, they need to find a way just to kind of protect their towers a bit right now.
OG really like this tower damage from their position 1. Last game they had Leshrac, this game they had Furon. This lineup, if you look at it, they have Void Spirit, AA, and Tidehunter, amazing team fighters. But they don't pick something like Furon, then you're going to just run to nothing. I think the Furon pick allows them to get the team fights they want, because if you just dodge them, you're going to lose objectives. Like strategically, it's a very good pick.
All right, so Gambit, they've already got team fight, they got stuns, galore. They need to have that scaling core that can punish a Furon carry. We saw Furon carry at the major, it kind of fell flat. What did they go for? Oh, okay,
so it's a lane counter versus Tidehunter.
Yeah.
You have to, like, it's very swingy though on the lane. If Tidehunter gets too much, it can be hard to push on a lane, but he can dominate that lane.
Yeah, I think the main thing for Gambit is they've kept the same core philosophy from their draft in game 1 to game 2, so they haven't varied too much, but they have put a little bit more emphasis on winning the lanes. They've got this Drow. I think Drow into Furon can be a little bit volatile, where Furon starts taking your towers, runs through the map. It could be a hard Drow game, but if they do have that good start, if they are able to exit the laning phase with a couple items and they're dictating the pace, then it could be a better showing. But once again, OG, they have got just tower damage galore and just a desire to kill.
Yeah, and I also have been not very hot on Bane. Like Curtis said, the main reason I see it is as an incentive to discourage heal strats. Not really on the table for OG. And I think Void Spirit, and even like in a team fight, Tidehunter Ravage will just randomly clip them, making Fiend's Group kind of useless. So maybe Comfort from Ein, I guess.
Yeah, I go with Comfort. As a 5 player who does love Bane, I hope Gambit is able to just kind of show us what the current patch iteration of Bane is, because we didn't see it at the major, and hopefully they've got kind of a new take on the hero to just kind of surprise us with it.
Which way are you leaning, Curtis? Game number 2.
OG for sure. Gambit picked 0 team fight. I think it's really hard to play draw into Furion, and I think it's hard for them to take fights.
And the implications of this match, like I said, there is no group stage play here. This is going straight into bracket. Loser of this goes down to a lower bracket. So it's not like there's pure elimination. And the winner of this goes on to face VP. So they are going to go up against Eastern Europe yet again. If OG managed to get through this, I'm sure they're looking forward to getting some international competition going, because it's been a while since they've played teams from other regions.
What happens when you don't get to go to the major?
What happens? Let's see what happens in game number 2. Pass it over to our caster. It's on Sven Lacoste.
That was good of you. Thank you very much, Tsunami and others on the panel. Sunsman here with Lacoste. We have game number 2 for this best of 3 between OG and Gambit. We have a Bane Elemental.
Bane Elemental indeed.
Good
Definitely
gracious.
not the hero that I expected to see. He's been lane dominator. I checked the stats. He's been picked 3 times during the last major. Has won 2 out of 3 games, which is pretty impressive. When I was theory crafting how to counter like Vibrant Heal, he was like top 4, top 5. I like Sanking. I like Spirit Vessel Carriers, especially Invoker. Timbersaw. Did I mention Lashtrack? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But,
Doesn't matter, yeah. Go ahead.
Sanking, so that's 4. And I think Bane is decent way to deal with the heal. It's just like you also want to have your other spells not necessarily maxed out. Like Brain Sap is fine, it's pure damage. You also want to put multiple points in a Nightmare, lower the cooldown on it, but not enough team fight. Something that panel talked about in this game. They have a lot of silences, they have a lot of control, but Tidehunter should be able to get the Ravage off. He is burstable if they don't overlap their spells, if they manage to play around that Kraken shell, but we'll see.
We will indeed. And Sumail, position 1, Nature's Prophet. Saw this from EG quite a bit, from South America as well at the major, and it had, I would say for the most part, pretty good success until the finals, where it was a true shellacking of Gaben levels, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we'll see how this Bane fares. Like you said, Enfeeble, a spell that has been changed about 10,000 times throughout the history of Dota, it feels like, but the name has stayed.
Yes, when Bane was picked, the first thing I did is I better check what his abilities are. Maybe there was a shadow patch, so I don't know what's going on. It's, you know, cast speed reduction, which is... I don't know what it is. Why is that in the game? But
I think it's cool.
We have it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that they're going to add into items at some point, and it's like one of those. It's almost like a beta test to see if it's used. So far, it has not been.
It's been tested 3 games during the major, so yeah, not a lot of testing. Got a good sample size. They decide to swap things around on OG, so they are putting a Mirana with the Nature's Prophet on the bottom lane, and Gambit, they are responding to it. They want to have this Dragonite against Nature's Prophet, starting with the Dragon's Blood, have extra armor, extra regeneration. You don't care too much about that harassment from the Treants, Blightstone that Nature's Prophet buys.
Up top lane, yep. Cold Feet did connect on Ein, but Seb let that creep advantage. Back into the trees he goes. So position 3, Tidehunter, as we talked about, but playing in a safe lane. Do you like how they've set up the lanes here for OG?
They wanted to dodge, but Gambit had a good read. What's going to happen? Maybe once you hit level 2 on OG, you could potentially swap things around easier with the teleportation from Nature's Prophet, so you always can stay one step ahead. Tidehunter getting extra regeneration and armor from the tower, so that's good. Not gonna get harassed too much. Playing into 2 range heroes is a bit tricky. Ancient Apparition doesn't provide you with much. What I'm looking forward to see is the mid matchup. Lorinov against Thompson. Lorinov played the game extremely well, then died after picking up the BKB and Dagon 2 times in a row. No buyback, but his rotations were on point of the first 2-3 items.
Yeah, I agree. It just felt like that. It fell apart instantly, kind of out of nowhere. But like you said, the buyback was kind of a big deal. I mean, he popped his BKB super early in every fight, too. I found that interesting. Obviously, we have all the vision, so things...
It's easy for us, indeed.
Yeah, for sure. But I
That's
do
why
like
chat is so smart as well. They also see everything. Judging.
Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes. But yeah. I do like this combo. I've seen it quite a bit. I would assume Thompson might have to go for a boring build into Yules, but it does set up the Aether Remnant into Arrow, which will get a lot of easy kills relatively early stages of the game once you pick
That's
up
the combo, indeed. So 2
Of course,
points.
it is Thompson, so he could go something.
He could go stats and dissimulate. Yeah, you never know with this guy.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. But in terms of the CS, extremely even right now. And we'll see. I mean, he doesn't really have the same kill potential that he did last game. Like if you get that level 6, maybe you can do some burst damage, but I feel like Puck fares pretty well. I mean, what do you think of the matchup overall, just the 2 heroes?
I think Void Spirit... It's Void Spirit's favorite until there is level 6 on Puck. Then there's a rotation. You will always struggle against the coil. But Void Spirit's attack animation and the shield early on gives him a slight advantage. I would call this 57, 43.
57.3. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect.
Until there's level 6 on Puck. Then Puck starts to play a bit more aggressive. You have like Lion rotating, and Void Spirit suddenly gets into trouble. It's what ruins the most of the spirits. Afterlife this time around, having a much better game on a Dragon Knight. He's not sitting at 0 CS 5 minutes in. 18, almost at the top, so much better game for him.
Yep, that's true. But we'll see if he ends up in the trees again this game. That's a very important factor that we have to consider. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, he becomes very tree happy. As Seb is going to get slowed here from Mr. Dream himself. Ein doing a good job of blocking off, trying to give him the kill, but Ein will take it with that Brain Sap. So first blood, the way of Gambit onto Fatty McFatty Tidehunter.
Pure damage from Bane kicking in there. Maybe Sumail can grant a wish to Afterlife. Okay. Sprout into Treants. He's still going to be inside the trees.
Point. Dream. Pressured here by No Tail. Will be fine. So, do you think OG needs to change their lanes, or is it just the rotation from Soxa going to be? See if he can hit an arrow. This would be pretty big. He's going to be spotted, though. And now TP's coming in from Immersion. But the arrow will connect into Ein. So they'll pick up the support.
Sumail even TPs.
Yeah, that. Well, they give him the kills. All right, you made the rotation. We'll give it to you, big boy. No problem.
Didn't spend any gold. It was just the ability TP, and he goes back to the bottom lane.
Yeah, in terms of his CS, it's 21-9 versus, like you said, Afterlife having a great time, but in the safe lane, 28-5 right now. And I feel like DK, I know he's kind of considered one of these like boring type heroes, but I feel like there's almost no variation in the... Oh, we're going to see Coil mid, level 6 onto Mr.
Bring a third hero.
But this looks to be a very easy kill. He's silenced for a little bit more. Took a little bit longer than I thought, but they do find that kill on Thompson in the end. Soxa not able to really do much here.
And he tips him. He tips him, brings 2 extra heroes. It's not a solo kill. Mirana on a mid lane, arrowing the catapult wave just to be able to... There's no push coming out. We mentioned it, like Void Spirit, he really struggles against the Coil. Coil will be up in another 50 seconds, so Lion could potentially stick around and try to get another kill. What they want to do is have this level 6 on the Drow Ranger so she can go back to jungle, triangle. It's not being stacked at all at the moment.
Illusion.
Dream has now made his way to the bot lane, and we're going to see a Nightmare setup here. And with 4 members of Gambit, this should be a pretty easy kill, but rotation from No Tail, not really be able to provide too much, though. It ends up being a nice kill onto Sumail for Gambit.
It's a good setup. Bane can set things up for Dragon Knight stun, Lion initiation. He could potentially sleep Tidehunter in the team fights. They will have Treants to potentially unsleep him, but we'll see what happens. I think in this game, it's not even... you don't go for Enfeeble until the later stages. Nightmare too good. Cast range gets increased. The Brain Sap pure damage is always going to be great. And there's the setup one more time.
Yeah. With the Earth Spike to follow, Lornov expends the Coil. And this will be another easy kill for Gambit. So off to a pretty good start. 4-1 advantage for them. Not huge in terms of net worth, but we can see that the damage is being done in the bot lane with both Dragon Form and just Drow's presence alone. Though
Something
not quite level
that
6 yet.
Has been very popular during the last major is whenever you have a Dragon Knight, you can put pressure on multiple sides. Like Dragon Knight is there, you need to bring numbers to be able to kill him. And on the other side, you have 2 to 4 other heroes just trying to get some damage on the tower.
And right now, Thompson, despite dying, is actually top in net worth. That's kind of crazy.
And try to guess what item build he's going to go for.
Well, I spoiled myself. It's going to be the Echo Saber.
It's a BKB plus Orchid. No, it's not. I mean, he can disassemble it and go for it, which potentially is really good against like backlines. You have a good jump on Lion. Bane set things up. Even Puck, like Puck these days, they don't build into Yule Scepter anymore, so they don't have way to dispel things.
Doing that, right? As Nature's Prophet all comes out, Thompson trying to chase, but Immersion is there. But Sumail TP's into the midst of things. Immersion looks to be what they have their eyes set on right now. Decent blocking from Sumail to start things out. More Treants to come in. Yeah, with the Astral Step and Aether Remnant, Thompson cleans them up nicely.
Thompson always finds a way to just go for one item build. Before, it was Ethereal Blade in the mid lane, whether it was like Gyro. What else was he playing with Ethereal Blade Rush every single game?
Every hero, literally every hero that he would... You said Gyro, right? So,
yes.
What else did I see it on? Was it PL? No.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, he would
He
pick
was
it up
Puck.
seemingly
Yeah,
every
he
game.
was definitely going E-Blade with Puck.
I think Monkey King. As weird as that is, I saw him at least in a pub get picked. It felt like he was just trying to hit the item out on literally to make sure that it was good or bad. But it usually was just Thompson playing.
Another coil.
Soxa. He's gonna break it, but the Earth Spike is there into the right clicks and the Waning Rift of Lorinov.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They end up
Mirana
getting
also gets ruined by a coil. You can't really do too much.
Yeah. Well, Immersion's gonna run right into Sumail. No Tail is in the vicinity though. Earth Spike to follow. Afterlife, Dragon Tail's there as well. Ein trying to put himself in decent position, but the rotation from Mr. Thompson has come in. They get the Immersion kill, and now the chase is onto this Bane Elemental, who is level 6, but feels like he won't be able to get off a good Fiend's Grip here. Gets off the Brain Sap to start. Thompson with the Astral Step, faking it a bit, but with that Gush and Aether Remnant, that's a double kill for him. Can't quite get the Courier, but will likely be the tier 1 tower now.
Now they bring the numbers. Ravage is available. Good on Tidehunter. Extremely tanky with the Nature's Prophet. They should be able to take this tower. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Afterlife trying to put some pressure, while Drow Ranger is just in the jungle at the moment.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Net worth in the favor of OG right now, but like you said, at the very least, Afterlife has been having a much bigger impact on this game so far versus the previous one. So, I mean, they basically opened up the exact same way in the draft, right? So, it's good to see that Gambit, although they're behind right now in terms of the money, feels like they're not falling into the same mistakes as last game, at least not yet. The trees are still there, of course. So
Yeah, you can always fall back to the trees.
Sumail, yep, getting pressured, and that's going to be enough for a kill from Gambit again. So Sumail, a couple
A bit too
deaths
deep.
here.
He has Witchblade completed. They can go and collapse on a mid tower. Ravage once again, still available. They didn't pop it. They have a Catapult Wave. Ancient Apparition Blast is available. But I believe Gambit will try to defend it. They have Puck Coil. Fiend's Grip is available. And there's the Sleep on Tidehunter. Wake him up with the trees, possibly. There's no one around him.
I don't know if they even want to initiate on him, though. They're going to get a Breathe Fire off as Seb trying to protect this Catapult at all costs, even pop the Fortification, make sure that even more damage will be applied here, but the counter Fortification for Gambit is there. Moonlight Shadow, see if they can set something up here. Yep, they're going to find Immersion right off the bat with the Dissimulate. Gets off the Hex, though. But there's the Gush, and likely one more right click. The Anchor Smash is enough from OG, so 5v4, and they get the tier 1, despite these TPs coming in for Gambit.
This is pretty much a perfect rotation from OG. They get the tower. They don't use any of the long cooldown abilities. Finally, Thompson finishes his item, goes into Echo Saber. I think he's just gonna do that, like keep the Echo Saber until there's enough money to buy a full BKB, disassemble it, and yeah, turn that into Orchid, because wants to be able to protect themselves against the Dragonite, mostly Coil, just to get out of the fight.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, the fact that it's disassemblable makes this all possible. As we're going to see yet another coil expended onto Soxa. He has been the coil target the whole game, it seems like.
I recently played a game like that, and it's just... I can feel the pain, you know? You're like, why are you doing this to me? You know, there are better targets to go at.
I mean, even with the nerfs to coil cooldown, it's still really low cooldown.
It is. They added only extra 10
It's funny
seconds.
because in the major, like, people stopped picking this hero after it was picked like literally every game, and then they suddenly discovered as a 4th, 5th pick, and it still looks just as strong as the previous major, despite all these nerfs.
It's just overall a strong hero, has great scaling talents. He went for a 25 damage. Maybe if Witchblade wasn't as strong, I don't think it would be picked up that much.
Now, Seb working towards his Blink Dagger, about 300-400 away from finishing that. So that'll give some nice initiation possibilities for OG. And I mean, they're not really... It is a Nature's Prophet lineup, so how well do they scale into
Nature's Prophet is a mean late game carry hero. Like once you get that Maelstrom BKB timing, AC Satanic, you can stand your ground against some of the heroes that usually you don't expect. It's definitely a good AC game against this heavy right-click damage from Dragonite. The Drow Ranger, you want to give some extra armor to your teammates as well on top of it. So Seb going into Blink Dagger next, needs 1 CS to finish it off.
And Afterlife picks his up basically at the same time, so each respective side will have their initiation ready to go.
Difference is Tidehunter has a full hood.
Yeah, that's true. He is definitely more farmed right now, so quite tanky indeed. And that's actually a little surprising considering Afterlife has... I mean, he went for a lot of these smaller items, I guess, the treads into Soul Ring, but I feel like he's been farming relatively well so far.
Because he's not hiding in the trees this game as much as he did in the previous game.
To be fair, he didn't start doing that until about 3 minutes from now, right? That's when it became Treant Protector for them. We see Moonlight Shadow now for OG.
They see him. They caught a glimpse of him and Immersion.
Back out as a result. I'm not sure if this blink was spotted on Afterlife, but either way, we'll have it now. Going for the BKB next. Dream, on the other hand, has the Dragon Lance, going for the Yasha. And of course, you talked about Sumail and his build, the Witchblade and Maelstrom.
Ton of damage. Yeah, they have a decent front line with the Tidehunter. Some Treants. Void Spirit will cause confusion. This item build gives him a lot of tankiness. Magic Wand, Raindrop, Echo Saber 15 strength that you get from the item. Line, still no finger charges, didn't use it a single time. Same goes for Bane, keeping the ulti for a very long time. He was level 6 pre-10 minutes, didn't manage to find an opening.
Yeah, I mean, slowly but surely the net worth is going in OG's advantage, so it feels like if Gambit doesn't start using this Blink Dagger to initiate the help of Lornoff, who has the Witchblade himself, of course, and is again going BKB, second item. How that works out for him. I mean, this...
I'm just thinking they have no silences, they have one stun. Maybe he thinks that he needs to be able to jump Dobson first and jump into backlines, because they can't burst this Tidehunter. I think he's a bit too tanky at the moment after finishing off the Blink Dagger. Shiva's Guard, Aghanim Scepter queued up, Suns fan.
Wow, that's
He's your
ready
build,
for the late game.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. I think Ags is severely underrated on this hero, actually. AoE Gush, very strong with the talents. What was it? Yeah, that 120 Gush damage at 15, and then the extra minus armor at 20. I mean, they have... That's a lot of right-click, potentially. I mean, this isn't really a right-click build from Topson, but...
From others, yeah, like... Nature's Prophet is gonna hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
No Tail. If we check his item build, he is going Hex. Never mind.
Go back to No Tail, please.
No Tail.
Oh, Astral Step into the Aether Remnant. They're going to be able to clean up Immersion pretty much instantly.
Help of the Dominator. Queued up on a position 5 Ancient Apparition.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find some sense in it. I think it's mostly going to be, if there's no Nature's Prophet around him, he needs to be able to unsleep the targets. Like, you need something, possibly, to unsleep the Tidehunter in a fight.
So he's going to be putting his pets to sleep constantly.
Yes.
Very cruel man.
Say good night to your doggy.
Then.
All right. Moonlight Shadow now. OG looks like they want to reinitiate into this triangle area, but there are sentries placed in the vicinity. Immersion gets off the Hex. Coming with the silence into the coil onto Topson. This looks to be an easy cleanup for a Gambit. They only lose the Bane, so definitely good trade for them.
Overextending there. There was no team to back him up. Sox is not fooling around this game. Same item build, pretty much. Once that E on this, got tired of getting coiled every single fight.
How would you nerf this item?
The recipe cost needs to be increased.
By?
For sure.
How much?
By
Need, like,
at least 500. It's too strong.
Pipe treatment?
Yep. Maybe the other thing would be give it limited charges. Let's say 3 to 5. You might need to crunch the numbers. And then it's just like you get HP, you get the mana from it. Because being able to use Aeon Disc 7 to 10 times during the game just doesn't feel normal to me.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like something that people are just picking up every game now. It feels like an item that shouldn't be an every game item.
Because there aren't too many Dispel mechanics. I've seen people trying to pick up Brewmaster, and then you have AoE Dispel, which is nice. One more time.
Is dead. I mean, with the global presence of Sumail, it's going to be really hard to get away for any of these supports, really, as he's locking in on his BKB now. And that's probably go time, I would assume, when both he and Topson have...
That's a big timing. Yeah, that's a... Roche timing for them. Potentially they could even go inside a pit. Thompson disassembled his Echo Saber, has BKB flying to him, so he can afford to play a bit more aggressively, can get out of that coil. Still no Ravage. We have not seen a single Ravage for 19 minutes.
He is going to get destroyed here with that Ice Blast, finishing him off from No Tail. Way too much damage, and this is why AA is such a value pick.
Now it's Roche time, because they got a big kill, 25 seconds without the Dragon Knight. He has a buyback, but I don't think they contest. BKB timing, as we mentioned, one on Dobson already done. This Roche goes down relatively quickly. Some minus armor coming out from Tidehunter. Blightstone not in the inventory. Not a lot of value. Well, it's all about that small items. Maybe throw out the magic wand, put the Blightstone in.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. But he, you know, Sumail's a little rusty. It's okay. It's okay, Lacoste. Don't need to backseat too much here, you know.
Yeah, it's easy for us. You know, we see everything. We see that they're not coming close.
Right, they do get the rush in the end, and this is a 7K net worth lead for OG, so they are starting to run away with this game right now. And again, Sumail not quite done with his BKB, but it's relatively close. Iron in the meantime, yeah, he's going to be spotted out again. And well, he did dodge the arrow, but
nicely done, but dies in the end. Still no Fiend's Grip. Had it ready. So right now, I believe if my math is correct, 2 minutes cooldown, has 6 Fiend's Grip available 20 minutes in. He's been stacking those.
That is okay. You joke. We haven't seen one Finger of Death or Fiend's Grip.
Or
game, right?
Ravage.
That, okay, but OG are winning, right? They don't need
that. Is correct. I feel like Gambit needed to play a bit more aggressive with their support duo. Smoke up, try to make stuff happen around the map. Just one sleep into either Hex, Impale, even Puck Silence could guarantee a kill.
I feel like when Afterlife got that blink, that was kind of the timing to be a little bit more aggressive. Chose not to, just kind of methodically pushing down these towers. But like we can see, I mean, again, we have the vision. 8K net worth lead for OG, pretty freaking large at 20 minutes. And a little bit of damage done to the tier 2, but with those TPs coming in from OG, they're just gonna have to back now. Now top lane, Ein again getting caught and brought down, but Afterlife showing that blink dagger into the Dragon Tail. There's the Ravage. There's the Ravage, first one of the game, but Sumail still dies. Buyback now into the Bane. Thompson popping that BKB, Step getting slowed perpetually, and he gets stuck inside that coil. The Kraken Shell does activate, but this is gonna be too much damage to survive. So a 2 for 2 with the buyback coming on the Bane, but again,
they still might go in.
2 cores.
Arrow will
Arrow. Yep, this will be a dieback onto the Bane. AA ult destroys him, and now the chase is on potentially, but the Waning Rift from Lornov has very little mana to work with. Still has his BKB available. Soxa looks to be fine, and No Tail extremely healthy as well. Lornov continued to chase, wants to get that Witchblade activation. Waning Rift into the pit. He's actually going to be surrounded here. Has to be a little bit careful. Dodges the arrow. BKB finally popped. He will be able to clean up No Tail at the very least. Thompson, not a whole lot he can do with that little of mana. So, I mean, I feel like a good fight from Gambit overall. They get all the cores, basically.
Yeah, they do. They didn't get rid of the Aegis, which will expire in 2.5 minutes. So OG will try to find some kills. BKB pop.
Yep, Dream and company. Sumail TP's in, and despite that BKB, that was the first charge as well. Just too much right-click damage.
Once they get on top of her, no damage coming out from the Drow. First Ravage. Decent Ravage, you know, just overall. It's the whole team was not around. I love the aggression.
Oh, into arrow. The random-ass sentry in the river is going to be the death of Afterlife.
Wish granted. They send him to Afterlife. I've been thinking, you know, Nightmare on Dream is a possibility this game.
Yeah, that does work pretty well. I like that. And you can put in the Afterlife there as well, right?
Sure.
I feel like they're all kind of connected depending on your theories in life and death. Maybe we need a little purgatory action as well, as Seb is gonna pop that Shivas for fun just to make sure that it works. Very important to make sure that there's no bugs in the game, your inventory especially. But Sumail working towards a Satanic now, and he is starting to get quite large. Top net worth in the game by far.
That Satanic gives him pretty much the second life. Thompson, getting initiated on.
But there's the Soxa. Yules into arrow, setting it up himself with the Aether Remnant to take off the Nightmare. That is going to be a dead Lion. Thompson pops a BKB, chasing Dream right now, but he's in the cover of the tier 2 tower.
Ravage in 5.
Yep, Seb pops that Shiva's again. This time not on creep. Says, wow, they just blow up Afterlife. Wrong place, wrong time. But Coil onto 3 heroes. Lorna pops his BKB, but they can't really follow this up with anything. Now that their DK is dead. So OG definitely coming out on top of there.
OG has a vision, so they see them coming from the base. Also not sure what the plan was there. They initiate on Thompson, who still has Aegis. I guess that's the thing with Thompson. You never know if he's just doing Thompson things and he's alone, or if he has a full team backing him up.
He has been caught out a couple times, in game 1 especially. And see here, the AA Blast came in and... I mean, Immersion just got completely destroyed. The fact that you get the better of the trades in terms of the item usage is what KB's charge, taking out Seb. He jumps in. By jumping in, I mean, he just waddles in. But really, the kill there is on Afterlife, who just was not on the same page.
He sees any trees, palm trees, oaks. He needs to go in. He needs to check what's underneath. Yeah, the coach is not very happy about this performance.
I thought that was a picture, but it was actually a
He was not.
Very Stonewall there. And Thompson able to take out Immersion. Again, the support duo here for Gambit are just food for OG this game.
And no tail. I talked about the, this Helm of the Dominator. He gets Ogre Vampire Mage, so some extra armor to protect against the Drow Ranger, which is real nice.
Did you say Ogre Vampire Mage?
Yeah, that's what the Jack KBBQ called it.
Oh, I see. I mean,
one of the
his face
tournaments.
is quite hideous. That's true. Great animations as well.
It's a lot of armor. It's a bonus 5 armor. I remember when it was 8, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So OP.
Uh-oh, Afterlife in the trees again, but they're blown up. He doesn't have cover. Okay, now he's surrounded by trees, and it'll be the death of him yet again. His nightmare has come real.
It's just too funny. He always dies near the trees.
Like they're trying to jump Voronov here, potentially. Does have that BKB. You can see the Orchid being used. He has to pop the BKB and run now. So again, it's a very low cooldown on the Orchid.
Doesn't care about the BKB usage anymore. 6-second cooldown, 6-second duration, and with Tidehunter, Dragon Scale, plus some extra damage from the Treants, they go for the high ground.
This is when things get really scary. Oh, the jump in from Seb, but he gets slept right away. Arrow's gonna connect, and again, another easy kill on a support. OG look very primed and ready to take this series 2-0, and yet another support. I feel like a broken record this game, but I mean, it is what it is. SNY picked up on Drow. See how much difference it actually makes. They have to give this up. There's a siege there as well. A Blast coming in, so we have to see if Seb wants to actually jump in, but no, they're not going to connect with anything here. So full racks for OG, 16K network lead at 26.5 minutes. How do you think they look? Is this more Gambit kind of underperforming, or they did play with Sumail like we talked about not too long ago?
Thought that the Gambit is gonna do better. Like Lorenov was once again having a really good game. It's just support duo that did not use a single ulti throughout the whole game, pretty much. 27 minutes in. Eon Disc now on Mirana. I love that. This is one of my favorite moves since Dota existed. Fake back, you kill the tower, you go back in, you set up a Observer Ward and a Sentry in their base. Not the kill that they wanted to get, but yeah, they're having fun.
I would like a Finger of Death and a Grip used, even if it's on a creep. I need to see that it works.
Yeah, maybe even on a Treant. I wouldn't mind seeing it on a Treant.
Absolutely. I mean, that would be great for Afterlife because it does love trees as well. So. All right, more Treants are made, and Sumail and company doesn't have Shard on him right now. Doesn't really need the extra push potential because they are just in firm control of this game.
Push now, they say.
Push them out of our base. More like it. Lorenov, a little bit of space there. Yeah. This will be a miraculous comeback. I mean, what do they need to do? Again, what's the best case scenario other than disconnections and all that good stuff?
I always try to find positive stuff. Suns fan.
I am a very positive
give me a minute. You gotta give me a minute here to try to think.
All right. Let me start this out with. You punish mistakes from OG.
Yes, that's how you do it. OG overextends. They don't have any relocating abilities, displacement abilities. No Tiny, no Mars. No skewer, nothing, so can't really do too much unless OG clicks the mouse to attack the tier 4 towers. There we
They
go.
can do it. Afterlife with the initiation. The BKB popped afterwards as well. Seb looks perfectly fine though. Sumail jumps in with his BKB, and they're just destroying the supports again. Lion is the first to fall. Seb actually getting low here, but I feel like they've expended everything on this Tidehunter. There's the Gush with that AoE Ags coming to fruition, and in the back line again. Sumail and, well,
He's in trouble. He's
they do
actually
find a
dead.
kill here. Very big kill, but will it be enough is the question. Dream trying to maneuver himself back into his fountain. Gonna get right click. The Shiva should connect with that Gush as well.
Oh, he even catches the arrow. They try to go on a Tidehunter. They try to burst them, maybe force a Ravage while they have their VKBs.
Yeah.
Not enough damage. It's just they don't have it. And
That was not the best case.
they might have one more fight. 55 seconds without the Draw Ranger, unfortunately. Does not have a buyback.
Okay. See, that's the first positive thing you said, that they might have one more fight in them.
That's what I've been looking for.
Has fallen.
4v5 now that the DK is respawning.
40 seconds. Blast connects.
Yeah, Sumail actually did not go AC. Went for the Mjolnir, so
More damage.
yeah, absolutely.
This is so annoying, Tidehunter. With the Aghanim Scepter
I'm
plus the
telling you.
Shiva's Guard, he's
It's good.
completely zoning them out. AA Blast, shooting the arrows inside the fountain, not letting them leave.
Are they fountain farming from that far range? That's pretty impressive. All right, smoke out from Eye. All right, I think we're gonna see Fiend's Grip. I think we're gonna see it. All right, the jumping from Afterlife. Fiend's Grip. Oh wait, no, he didn't get it off. He gets Ravage on the side. The AA Blast will just destroy poor old Lorinov. Fiend's Grip still online, still available to use. Will he use it? They call GG. Will he use it?
No.
Will he do it?
He might die before the game actually ends.
Please use it. My lord. All right, they didn't
rough
use
one.
it. In the
Really rough one
Yeah.
for the supports.
getting that milk in. That's important.
Did not manage to get a single ulti off in this 30-minute game. He was level 6. He was level 6 before minute 10. I expected him to make a rotation with it. Didn't happen. Lorinov once again played decent game on puck, but one more time he cannot solo carry this game.
Okay, we didn't see Fiend's Grip. Are you sure we didn't see Finger? Because I don't think we did, but I'm not 100% on that.
I'll say I'm 100% sure, even though
I don't think I've
I'm
ever
not.
seen a game ever where two heroes in the game on the same team do not use an ultimate. Have you?
I don't know. Maybe if they finished the game before they got level 6. I remember some good old Dota 1 days, start of the early Dota 2, where you didn't get too much XP, so you had
That's true.
level
Okay, that
5
doesn't count.
support.
A lot of times you wouldn't even level your ultimate in certain
Yes.
situations, right? And then you just lose the game before that. Okay, without that, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Let's see what the panel has to say about this dominant 2-0 performance from OG.
Took the words right out of my